changed over the years?
Okay. Thank you, Vivian. The more we are having the conversation and the more people are now more aware, you'll agree with me, the conversations are more now than they were before.
Yeah, for sure.
So before there was the cultural belief that mental health, mental health disorders probably has to do with certain people who are looking at it like the cause of it is either a spiritual attack or it's a curse. And in our communities, you'll find when someone has a mental health disorder, the first person they go to is probably a spiritual leader or a witch doctor or those traditional healer. But we are moving into a space where people realize this is mental illness and they are able to come to hospital, to a psychiatrist, to a psychologist, to a counselor, and we are acknowledging this is a disease that needs conventional treatment. Yes, and then now we are having more people coming out to speak about their mental health illness journey. Before it was a taboo topic. I wouldn't confidently stand in front of people and say I've walked this journey of probably a depressive illness. But now we are seeing a lot of champions of people who've lived the experience and are willing to share. So that's a beautiful, different space, and we hope we continue in the same journey so that we break the stigma and we give a voice to the mental health champions.
So we've not yet gotten to a point where we have, you know, broken that stigma. It still exists around us, or have we been able to break the stigma?
I would say it's a journey. We have started it. Is it where we would want it to be? No. It should be where, the same way I say I have a headache, it should be the same way I say I am struggling with anxiety.
And not get weird looks for it.
Yes, and people start treating you in a certain way. We are not truly where we should be, where there's no stigma, there's confidence, there's a voice. We are not yet there, but we have started the journey.
So maybe how do we get there? You know, what are the things that should be incorporated? What individual duty do we all have to ensure that we get to a point where we do not stigmatize, you know, mental health, wellness rather?
Okay. Thank you, Vivian. So I'll start from the point of an individual. As an individual, are we very aware of our own mental health? And are we very intentional about it? Are we able to tell, I'm not in a good space right now, probably I'm stressed and I'm struggling with something, and speak it out or get help for it? And then also as an individual, the people around you, are you able to support them? If someone opens up to you and says, I am struggling, are you able to embrace them and be that sisters or brothers keeper and be the support they need? And then we go at family level. The members of our families who are struggling with various mental health issues, give an example, alcohol use. How are we treating them? How are we allowing them to interact in the family? Are we viewing them as lesser beings or equal beings? So are we the social support, the social capital an individual needs? We go to the level of the community. How are we treating the individual who attempted suicide a month ago? Are we stigmatizing that whole family and we can't associate with them? Or we are allowing them into community? Are we allowing them to have jobs? Or we'll decide, I can't give him a job because they have a mental health disorder? Yes. Are we able to have conversation in the nyumba kumis and in the barazas and make mental health issues a conversation and accept? Probably in our village we have a lot of young people who are struggling with substance or alcohol, and we talk about it as is and come up with ways to help the people in the community. We go higher to the policy and governance. From the level of county government, national government, what policies are we putting in place that favor individuals who have lived experience? And I want to look at it from the point, are we making policies that promote mental health, that prevent mental health disorder and provide care and link to care individuals who already have mental health? So when we look at it from all those angles, it gives us a view. We all have a role to play, from the individual up to the governance level.
How do you get to know when it's time for you to take that mental break?
I would say there is no one size fits all. There's who Vivian is. There's who you know you are, and your family knows you are, and the people around you. So when you notice there's a deviation from who you usually are, probably there's something not right. Probably you're able to deliver a certain task in this period, and you realize you're taking an hour longer, you're not concentrating enough. Probably there's something. There's a difference in how you behave, in how you act, in how you feel, and it's persistent for a while. Then probably there's something not right. It might not get to the level where we diagnose with a disorder, but it shows there's a push on your mental health space. So it's a change from who an individual is. For example, if I am a loud person, I become quiet, then that's a sign. And if I'm a quiet person, I become loud, then that's something different from who I usually am. So it's a deviation from how people know you as and how you know yourself as.
So you can be able to actually just I wanted to say self-diagnose yourself. You know, when it comes to mental health, you can be able to tell that, okay, I think I am not doing well. It's possible for you to do that.
I would use the term, you can be self-aware.
Self-aware.
I wouldn't advocate for individuals giving themselves diagnosis, because at times we can over or under. I would leave that space to qualified professionals, but you can tell, you can be very self-aware to say, I feel different, and probably something is not right, and I need to get help for it.
All right. On that note, allow us to take a short breather. We'll be back to continue with the conversation and try look at the collaborative and comprehensive approach to treatment when it comes to matters mental wellness. Don't go too far.
Michuano ya kufuzu kwa kombe la dunia mwakani 2026 yanafikia tamati mwezi huu wa Oktoba. Je, vijana wa Cote d'Ivoire watawezana na Harambee Stars? Usingoje kuambiwa. Tazama mechi hii live hapa KBC Channel 1 siku ya Jumanne tarehe 14 Oktoba kuanzia saa 4 usiku. Ujue mbivu na mbichi. Pia tutapeperusha matangazo haya kupitia Radio Taifa na stesheni zingine za KBC. Usikose. KBC Channel 1, mwenzio wa dhati michezoni.
Hapa unakuwa humiliated mbele ya watu, lakini unapata uwezi shtaki, sababu ukishtaki utafungiwa barabara ya kwenda Bungu.
Kondo ya mwisho na nini? Na kufi. Na katika ulimwengu ya kiroho, unajua litwangwa hiyo kofi ni Mikaeli. Sasa mimi nauliza wewe. Bila nabii ungekuwa wapi?
Mimi angekuwa Bachola.
Unajua utapata shida.
Wewe ndio malaika ama sijakuelewa bado?
No. I'm his prophet.
Huyu yeye ni nani anawababaisha hivi?
Pina anakusomeanga maisha yako vile iko.
Na wewe unaamini?
Makwa. Sasa ulikuwa umejua list ya millionaires ulikuwa umeingia.
Le hambaya papa.
One of the millionaires.
Millionaire?
Si ndio?
Akinirutisha tu kwa hiyo namba. Tafadhali nirutishe.
It's art, it's culture, it's fun, it's attitude.
As you can see with me, I have this handkerchief. And is it really a handkerchief or is it?
My name is Kevin Kasyoki. Please join me each and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
And we're back. Thank you for staying with us. We are talking matters mental health awareness. And joining me is Dr. Janet Mwende. Now, we had already begun our conversation. And right now, I would love for you to just elaborate for us what a comprehensive and collaborative approach of treatment to mental wellness looks like.
Okay, thank you, Vivian. Probably I take us back a bit. In the causes of mental health, we don't have one single cause. We can say this is the reason someone has mental illness. So it's an interplay, it's a complex interplay of many factors, biological, psychological, social factors. So even when we come to the treatment, so that we are able to address the mental health disorder or illness comprehensively, you have to look at it. You have to make a treatment plan covering the various aspects that would have led someone to get mental illness. Because if you don't, it will be half treatment, if I might use that. So in approach to treatment for an individual with mental illness or mental health disorder, we have to consider the biological aspect. By biological treatment is now where the medicine, the pharmacological aspect comes in. And at this point, I need to say not all mental health disorders need medicine or treatment. It depends on, one, the type of diagnosis and the severity. So there are disorders which we do not need the pharmacological aspect. So the biological aspect entails the pharmacological aspect. And then we go to the psychological aspect. So this individual has probably passed through a difficult past, what we call the adverse childhood traumas. They have gone through abuse, various forms. So you have to address this. So we address this using psychotherapy. What we say, you get to be seen by a psychologist so that they are able to evaluate you. One, to make a clear diagnosis and be able to list the issues this individual is dealing with. Probably they have had multiple losses, so they need to deal with the grief. They have been abused as children or in their current situation, so that has to be dealt with. They have been neglected, that has to be dealt with. They have formed a way of thinking that has led them to have mental illness, so especially if you've grown in an environment where everything is negative and you've believed the negativity and your form of thinking is in the negative. So that has to be unlearned. And that is done through the various forms of therapies, what we call psychotherapy. So that's a psychological aspect to treatment. And then there is the social aspect. We say a person is not an island. We are social beings. So you come from a family, you come from a workplace, you come from a community. So what are the issues in the society, in your family, that could have led you to get mental illness? So we need to address that. In mental health, there are times we even do social visits where a patient is admitted in a psychiatric facility, and the social workers go to the family and community to analyze and investigate what is happening at the family, at the community level that has led this person to be unwell, and what is in that setting that we can use to get them treatment. So there's the family support is a form of treatment for mental health illness. An individual who is alone with no family, their outcome is very different from an individual who has a family that is surrounding them. Yes. We go further into the friends. Who is your social capital? Who's your to-go person? Who's able to check on you and keep you on tab? So we have to use that as part of the treatment. So we also look at your workplace. The workplace can be a reason why you are unwell, but it can also be protective. The fact that I know I am a medic and I have a place to work to, it's a capital that will help in the recovery journey. So we have to know, where do you work? Is there a stressor there? How do we deal with it? And is the workplace protective, and we capitalize on that? For example, when probably an individual has struggled with alcohol or substance use, part of their recovery journey, you have to reintegrate them back to their workplace, to their family. So you see, now it's a comprehensive aspect to it. And now we are going further beyond the biological, psychological, social. We are looking at the spiritual aspect. Yes, so what if a patient has a belief system, we tap into that. It's a collaboration rather than a competition. So how can we tap into your belief system? So there are times I've had to call the pastors or sheikhs of the patients I'm seeing to help me in the management. And in such situation, the outcome is better, because there is that strong belief system in what we believe in our spirituality. So we tap into that. So when you look at this, you see there's the doctor, there's the psychiatrist who's treating using medication, there's the psychologist, and there's the counselor also playing a part. There's the social worker, there's the family, there's the workmates, there are the friends who are playing a part in the treatment plan, and there's the spiritual leader who's playing a part. So that brings in the collaborative and the comprehensive approach to mental illness, which is very different from how we approach other illnesses, where it's malaria, it's caused by this, you treat. But for mental health, you can't approach it using a linear path like that, because you'll miss out. Because the reason someone is unwell is an interplay of all these factors. So the same way in the treatment, you have to put in all those factors as part of the treatment plan.
Yeah. So this definitely differs from the traditional way of doing things. You know, as you said, normally just go to the hospital, speak to the doctor, get my medication, and that's it. But as you're saying, this is how collaborative and comprehensive looks like. Everyone is involved. Every aspect of your life is involved in the treatment. And, you know, just speaking of that and mentioning that, you know, some of these disorders do not need medicine. You know, maybe it just needs the collaboration, whereby you just talk to each one involved, and you may find where the problem is and get to solve it. And even speaking about that, just on a lighter note, I read, I think 2 days ago, that Sweden is the first country whereby doctors can now prescribe travel as a form of medication. And I was like, maybe this is something we should also get to absorb over here, because sometimes maybe it's just, there's a lot happening in your life and you just need that break, you know, and that can be a prescription. So I read that and it came as a shocker, because I can imagine going to a hospital and the doctor prescribes travel. No medicine, just go travel.
It's actually true. We do that a lot. There are times you see a patient and you don't give them medication. Your plan is, what is it that you enjoy to do? Someone says, I enjoy long walks. You're like, so we need that long walks as scheduled, as medication. So we're saying you're walking 5 times, 4 times a day. And that's all we're giving. And you notice a difference. Because there's the bit where, one, your physical health is sorted, but also as you exercise, the dopamines, the happy hormones are released, and you realize you're actually better. So in the mild forms probably of disease like depression, in the moderate forms, you can actually prescribe a hobby. Yes, like a routine you're doing every day, and you do it for several weeks, and someone comes in and they're like, I'm doing much better. Yes. So yeah, if travel is your thing, then it is your form of medication.
I love that. I love that. Now, you know, when you talk about mental health, most people, when you say, oh, that person has a mental health issue, like most of the times we don't really know the disorders associated with mental health. It's just a blanket statement. Or sometimes the word that people are used to nowadays, you just say that person is depressed or I feel depressed. But then I would love to understand, maybe this is something we can find another time whereby we'll look at each and every one of them. But just to get to highlight, what are some disorders that are termed as mental health disorders?
Okay. Thank you, Vivian. Yes, it would be beautiful if we would go into details of the various disorders so that the listeners can learn and be very aware. So mental health disorders span from all ages, from children to the elderly. So I can span the same way. So what are some of the issues in the younger children? So we talk of the neurodevelopmental disorders that happen at the time of development. We've heard of autism spectrum disorders. We've heard of ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorders. We have intellectual disabilities where a child is not able to think and act at the level of their age. So we span into teenagehood, and early adult is when most of the mental health disorders present themselves. So we talk of depression, we talk of anxiety disorders, where someone has this constant worry, this constant fear. And for mental health disorders, they affect your functioning, your social, your occupational, who you are. Okay, so we all experience fear, we all experience anxiety, we all have worry. But when it gets to a point where you're not able to function, then we are moving towards disorder. Then we have the psychosis, and in the line of psychosis, it could be due to substance use. We have had a lot of weed, cannabis, and it's associated with a perceptual disturbance. We have schizophrenia. I know I'm using terms, but we'll get time to go deeper into it. We have alcohol, issues related complications. We have substance use and abuse, including the abuse of even prescription drugs. So we go further into as you move towards the old age, we talk of dementia, where there's progressive memory loss. So you realize it's a whole span of disorders. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So we definitely are going to find time for that, because I feel like it would be easier for us to get to look at one disorder at a time, so that we are able to all learn, because when it comes to mental health, I think we're all learning on the go, because as we said, it's not something that was being talked about openly, it was taboo. So now that we can talk about it, we're going to get into it deeper and get to understand all of that. Now, what would you say are some daily habits and routines that support one's mental well-being?
Okay. There's a phrase that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, it's an habit. So what is the habit that you repeat, one individual repeatedly does? So in self-care, it has to be something you do as a routine. It almost comes to a point where it's automatic. So one, it has to be something an individual loves. So if you do something you don't love, then it becomes work. Okay? So there is no one code fits all, so it's very individualized. What is it that makes you happy and makes you relax, and you can deal with stress? So is it walking? Is it swimming? Is it running? Is it hiking? Is it baking? Whatever it is for an individual, choose it. Choose one or two things, and the difference is let it be repeated multiple times a week. It's not a once in a month habit, okay? So there's the physical or activity you do. Then there's the bit of stay socially connected. Do you have a debriefing buddy? Do you have a friend when things are thick you're able to call and you know you won't be judged and they'll just listen? You don't even need solution, you just need a listening ear. It doesn't have to be a professional. It can be a friend. So remain socially connected and have a debriefing buddy, someone you constantly talk to so that things don't pile into a mountain, okay? And then have a schedule, have sleep hygiene, eat well. I know we've had this a lot. Have a balanced diet. It makes a whole difference. And this is a habit, so it's something you do every single day. So it calls for you being intentional and to think about it and plan for it. You realize that's very basic and it makes a whole difference.
It feels very basic because it's your usual day-to-day.
Yes.
But as you say, it makes a difference, just the fact that you're doing it over and over and over again.
Yes.
And you know, what's one thing that you wish the public would better understand on matters mental wellness?
Okay. Mental wellness, one, it's an integral part of who we are. It's something we have to be very intentional and to embrace, okay? And be very aware of our mental illness, because once you're aware, you're able to pick when it's early and get help for it, and you're able to pick it even for the people around us. And be gracious to the people around you. If they are struggling, let's not judge. Let's be each other's keeper and hold each other as we walk, because definitely two are better than one. Yes, and a problem shared is a problem solved. Yes.
As we come to a conclusion of our conversation, would you say treatment for mental health is accessible in the country?
Yes, Vivian, I would say that mental health treatment is available both in public hospitals and also in the private sector. Yes, and I'm talking from level 3, level 4, level 5, even level 6 hospitals where I work in. We have mental health professionals who can offer care, and if there's need for referral or link to care upwards, it is very available. And then from the COVID period, we also are now offering telepsychiatry, where you can get help through helplines. Kenya Red Cross and even Ministry of Health has helplines if someone is struggling with depression, suicidal thoughts. You're able to call toll-free and get help. So you don't have to physically be available where the mental health professionals are. You can get help from wherever you are. Yes, and even in the era of AI, we are getting a lot of help even in that space. So it is more available now than it was before. Even in the farthest corners of Kenya, someone can get help.
So if you're struggling with it, there's available help.
Yes,
so
there is available
go to
help.
Healthcare facility and you'll receive the help that you need.
Yes.
I thank you so very much, Doc, for joining us for this conversation. Maybe if you can just give us your final remarks as we say goodbye.
Okay. Probably I say where help is available. I work for Kenyatta University Teaching, Referral and Research Hospital. It's a government level 6 hospital. So if anyone needs psychiatry or psychological care, there's a toll-free number, 1558. They can reach out and get care. Yes.
1558. 1558. That's a toll-free number.
Yes.
If you're struggling with things surrounding mental wellness, that is the number that you can get to call. It is free of charge. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vivian.
We're definitely looking forward to have you back so that we can get to dissect each and every disorder one by one.
Okay.
All right, this is where we end this particular conversation. Thank you so very much to each and every one of you who has been tuned in. Right now, I want to hand you over to Achola, who is our colleague. He is in Siaya at the moment. And in case you didn't know, the Siaya International Trade and Investment Conference is kicking off today right there in Siaya. You can see him. He's right there on standby, coming to us live from Siaya. So over to you, Achola.
Great, Vivian. Thank you very much indeed. We are coming to you live from Siaya County. Those who come from this county will be telling you that I come from Siaya Kababa, whatever that means. Of course, the great effort they've actually been putting in for the last couple of months in terms of just putting together this international trade investment conference is actually now showing, as you can actually see on the screen, pictures that are actually on the screen, is the preparations. This is the main pavilion where everything is actually set, and what awaits is for the delegates to start, of course, streaming in as starting tomorrow, because today is just the registration day, people checking in, ensuring that they have their space and what have you. This is the main pavilion, and of course the arrangements of the seating tells you that a high-ranking dignitary will be amongst those who will actually be attending this conference, and that high-ranking dignitary is actually the President, William Ruto, as of course we were told yesterday by the Siaya Governor, James Agri Bob Orengo. And you can also see on the farthest is actually the breakaway rooms that of course people will be discussing various issues or thematic areas in terms of just ensuring that indeed this conference achieves what it's supposed to achieve. But also not far away from where we are, Vivian, is where the exhibitions are, and we are told that all the exhibition boxes have actually been bought by local and foreign investors, and that of course speaks to what leaders in this county have actually been saying for the last 1 month or so, that there's been some great interest in terms of just people wanting to come to Siaya County and being part and parcel of this noble idea of putting forward what Siaya County has to offer, and eventually, of course, seeing the possibilities of investing in some of those initiatives. I can also say that indeed there's been some great effort in terms of ensuring that just everything is in line with the law, and as we were told also yesterday by the governor, that indeed they've actually consulted or engaged security personnel in terms of ensuring that everything is actually fine and security is top-notch. We've been working around, and what you see is that each and every area there's a policeman who is actually taking advantage position in terms of just ensuring that indeed they keep this space safe. Remember that today is the day that delegates are expected to start streaming in. They're coming in, taking accreditation, taking their spaces, and ensuring that everything is in place, of course, before the ball starts rolling tomorrow. But of course, on the set, we have the CEC trader, Grace Agola, who's actually been part and parcel over the planning committee. The lady was actually been hands-on in terms of ensuring that this conference is what it's supposed to be. And of course, it'll be shedding more light in terms of the expectations. The efforts have actually been put in, the challenges, and eventually, after this conference, what they intend to achieve. Welcome, Madam CEC.
Thank you so much. Yes,
the hard work that has actually been put in for the last couple of months is not showing on your face. Does it mean that you are actually up to task in terms of ensuring that this thing rolls into motion?
Thank you so much. It should not show in my face. It should show in the real action.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. And indeed it's showing. Yes. And indeed it's showing. So in terms of people who will actually be coming for this conference, just give us an insight in terms of the response, in terms of the investors and exhibitors who actually come out to want to be part and parcel of this conference.
Thank you so much. I'll say that the response has been very positive. Mm-hmm. And even up to yesterday, we had to close the website for registration on exhibitors because we had run out of spaces. Mm-hmm. We have gotten a number of investors cutting across, from government agencies to corporates and even to private sectors. So it has been a very positive response, I would say.
That speaks to what we've had for the last couple of days in Siaya County, in terms of the interest and the uniqueness of this county. That tells you that investors, both local and, of course, foreign, have actually been looking for an opportunity to invest in this country. What has actually been keeping us behind?
I wouldn't want to say what has been keeping us behind, but most of us have not been thinking in those lines. Mm-hmm. I want to say that the fact that Siaya used to be Kisumu, part of Kisumu, which was a district under Kisumu. We've been laid back and being comfortable because the distance from here to Kisumu city has been short. And most people feel comfortable staying there because of good schools and all that. But we realize as an economy, we cannot be paying people and all their children go to school in Kisumu, they stay in Kisumu, so our money is spent elsewhere. Now we want to honor them, bring them back through the housing system, through the good ECDs and schools, so that they come and start working and making sure that the economy and the money is being used here.
What is the selling point? What is this so unique about Siaya County that an investor out there looking from outside will say that indeed this is what I want to do in Siaya County, or you'll actually be walking around in a pamphlet telling investors that this is what you need to come and do in Siaya County?
One thing that people do not know is that Siaya County does have more than one lake. In fact, there are 3 lakes. And one of the lakes is very unique, the Lake Kanyabole, which is Oxbow Lake. Has unique fish, it is in a very unique site, and it should be unattractive. And if we can, like for example, attract an investor to do an eco-city there, it will be a world-class place to go and visit, because apart from just having that, we have the bird watching, and we also have the delta that can really be producing a lot of food for this county and this country. Secondly, Siaya County has a unique thing of cotton. We might not be currently strong in cotton, but I can tell you that our cotton is the best. Because as we speak, even right now, thicker cloth milling comes to pick the little that we produce because it's very nice. So in terms of uniqueness, even production of cotton is unique. Siaya has a very fertile soil. And I would say we are strong in agriculture. And we are looking into doing what is called agro-processing. And in agro-processing, we are very specific. We want to produce rice, we want to produce cotton, and oil crops. In oil crops, what we are zeroing in is avocado, sunflower, and palm oil. And then when you look at food security, we are also zeroing in on production of cassava. If all these things are done and aggregated to make the markets, then people who are doing them, regardless of the size of your shamba, will be able to sell and make money. And we'll register them in form of cooperatives. So those are some
of the unique areas. Yes. In agriculture, and I want to specifically dwell on that, agriculture is good. And one of the major challenges that we've actually had in agriculture, Madam CEC, is the value addition aspect. And we find that in most situations, our farmers go into their farms till have food, but wastage in terms of post-harvest is immense. Then how do we ensure that indeed the value addition line is actually up to task in terms of ensuring that indeed there's very minimal wastage, but also farmers can actually get more from their toil?
Thank you so much. In Siaya currently, as we speak, we have what is called Cooperative Development Fund, which we are rolling out. And this one is supposed to produce to help cooperatives in production, in whichever area they are doing, so that they will be able to sell their products immediately after they produce, and ensure that they get value for their money. So I'm looking into it that the Cooperative Development Fund and also the trainings that they are being given, and the farming, because they are being given subsidies, should be able to uplift the production of produces in farming.
To achieve this, of course, there will be need for engagement with the agricultural department in terms of extension services. We have actually heard from members of the public across the country lamenting on issues of agricultural extension services, that at times it is actually difficult to access some of those services. How is it in Siaya County?
In Siaya County, we've engaged the agricultural extension services immensely.
Do we have enough capacity in terms of ensuring that farmers can get, because at times we are told that yes, we have agricultural extension officers, but what you do is that you find them in the office seated the entire day, one, because there's no fuel, there's no mobility in terms of going to the field, and even if you try to get them, you will not get them. So just paint for us a picture of exactly how is it in Siaya, that, I mean, those investors that actually want to invest in the agricultural sector can actually have confidence in saying that, yes, I'll go there and I'll get these services?
Yes, there is, because currently as we speak, there's the NAV CDP, who has already even given us a backing in terms of extension services and trainings. So I would tell the investors that are coming that we have very dedicated extension officers, yes, in the ground. Yeah.
Fantastic. The other question then I would ask you is about licensing.
Yes.
Licensing is the biggest problem in terms of at the county level, where you find a small hotel is supposed to have at least 4 or 5 licenses before they operate. Or there's one for medical, there's one for this aspect. Just tell us how we're going to streamline this to ensure that indeed, be it one stop or be it aligning our policies in terms of ensuring that even as traders come here, they're actually in a position to get what they want quick, fast, and not, I mean, be subjected to bureaucracy to a level where you cannot actually get some of this certification.
Thank you so much. That is in course, I would say, because first as a county and also as a department, we work together with Kenya Investment Authority to create what is called e-procedure, so that whoever wants to get his license can also even go through the website and just get to know what exactly is expected. He can pay, and then he gets the receipt. So it is being digitized, and it shouldn't be even something that we go to the office to go and ask. Yeah. So that should make everybody easy, unless it's a very special case that requires now the county intervention. Yeah.
Attached to that is also corruption, because you find that in situations where you want to get those certificates, those licenses, in most situations you'll find it very difficult to find them. And what creeps in is actually try to cut corners. Just paint for us a picture in terms of ensuring that indeed even those that are actually coming out, that they're not engaging some of these bottlenecks as they try to get certifications.
Paying licenses is done through the bank. After you have paid your license, you get your receipt. So I don't know at what point will somebody want to cut corners, because they already printed, it's already in the system and in the website. So you look at what you are paying, you go pay, and you get your receipt. Because even that payment alone in itself is a legal document.
Fantastic. You talked about the uniqueness of the county and some of the issues that you've actually raised are Oxbow, lakes, and of course what is actually found there. Kindly, if there's any other unique thing, because there are people who will come here and they don't want to stop at the cultural or the tourism bit, but they also want to venture into other areas. So what are some of these unique things that you will actually encourage people to come and actually invest in Siaya County?
First, I would want to encourage people to come and invest in energy. Because as we want to manufacture, energy is a very important question. So, and as you can see, we are in Equator area, so there's a lot of sunshine. Come and invest in energy. Secondly, when you look at, we have the Lihanda space, we have the Nandu Falls, those are energy spaces. So that is also unique to Siaya. Apart from that, there's rice farming, and there's cotton farming, and then there's fish, blue economy. We have the lake besides us. We have the most clear water lake sites in this side of the Lake Victoria. And we want to encourage them to come and do the mines so that the hotel industry can also thrive in Siaya. Yes.
A way of, one of the ways of ensuring that we move these gains that we've actually gained here in this conference is actually engaging local investors, ensuring that they actively participate in what we are doing, and subsequently move those gains to a higher level. Any specific programs that we have in terms of ensuring that, one, we enhance their capacity, but two, we leverage on the gains that we've actually made in this conference to ensure that indeed we push this thing to the next level?
Thank you so much. First, when we started the discussion for this conference, we did start with the local community, the business people. We called for the meeting. That one was last year. And we talked to them, and they felt that it is high time they also engage beyond their borders, because they also realize that they are limited in resources. Secondly, after that, we also called for a meeting with the donor community. And we tabled our discussions with them, and they also came and said, yes, it is high time now we venture into Siaya. Then beyond that, we also called a meeting with the high leadership of this county. We talked with them, and they also endorsed this conference. After that, we also called a meeting with the professionals of Siaya County, and they're also happy. And because of this, again, we called now the MSME and SME businesses again in Siaya, just to tell them that what we started now is coming to fruition. And all of them came and they said, yes, we want. So to make sure that they are participating, we have prepared B2B. The discussions that will be ongoing is about how they can interact with this international community and the other investors to ensure that they also come to Siaya. What do they have to offer for them to come? Because we are looking at where the locals can work together with the foreigners to make their organizations bigger or create bigger organizations.
Are there specific incentives that you're actually giving the foreigners that are actually coming, and even the locals that actually want to produce here and actually sell out their products?
Yes, the first thing is, investment, you can't invest in air. You have to invest in land. So as a county government, we are offering land for those who are ready, investors, and we are giving them a time frame for what we would want to say that until they are able to stand before they start paying the rates that we would want it to come, the cost. And also we are looking into we are saying that if you are coming, there are certain percentage of workforce that should be from local. And local employees are reasonably cheaper than exporting them. So why would you export people, yet we have our own resources, human beings that are also capable? So we are offering that and telling them that we have young, youthful employees to work with. Also, when you look at the issue of electricity, that's why we are requesting and we are looking into an investor that can invest in electricity and offer it at a lower price, because currently the policy allows. So those are the areas that we are looking into, and especially the electricity part of it will really play a great role. Then infrastructure, we've really done roads, and we have also water. So those are areas that we are looking into it, that any investor who comes can settle very fast.
You've talked about the youth and their involvement, especially when investors are actually coming, and you're saying some of the cheap labor that they can actually get, right? Which is great. But I want to know the level of engagement by the youth in this particular conference, and also going forward, some of the incentives that we actually have for them in terms of ensuring that, yes, the youth are being involved, but not just as ushers, not just as cheap labor, and also not just as entertainers, but actually people who will make serious gains from this conference.
For your information is that we have a youth hub, which is now situated in Bondo. And as we speak, the youths have been engaged in that area so that their innovation can be presented even to the president. So we are looking youth involvement in terms of innovation and in terms of creativity, so that what they have, they can present to the world. We are also looking in youth even in agriculture itself, so that the farm should not only remain for the old. So we are making agriculture be a nice thing, beautiful, even to the youth. So there are those who are already involved, and you are looking even...
I am tempted to ask how so. How are you making agriculture more beautiful? How are you making it more attractive to the youth? Because when you're talking about agriculture, it is something that is actually gaining traction in terms of the youth wanting to engage in it. But still, there are other hiccups that actually surround the engagement and involvement of youth in agriculture. And I will tell you, space, capital, and even just accessing some of these markets, right? Yet there are platforms that can actually assist them in this, in e-commerce and everything that surrounds sale of their products, right? So what exactly are we engaging in to ensure that indeed we make this agriculture more attractive for the youth?
First is training. You can see where we are sitting here is Siaya National Polytechnic. When you move around, you see a lot of agriculture. Be it coffee, banana, all types of crops. So they are getting that training. Those who have interest in agriculture are getting that training. Secondly, we encourage the youth to get into cooperatives. We have cooperative development fund, which is going to be rolled out and giving them funds to start off. So they are going to have a startup fund, because under normal financial institutions, startup funds is not easy. So we are offering that for the youth. Thirdly, I've just told you that the hub, innovation hub that we are creating here in Siaya, is also something that is ongoing. So we want to see youth being active. And thirdly, when these agro-processing companies are coming in, all these youths ought to be absorbed in this organization, so that we have our youths around building our county, making a difference within this space.
Fantastic. Just in conclusion, probably something that you need to tell those that actually want to attend this conference before we close. So I'll give you 1 minute before we close.
Thank you so much. First, I want to say that Siaya International Trade and Investment Conference, CITICO, is ready, mature, and I will call all the interested investors, the participants and delegates to come to help us build Siaya, because the future is in Siaya, and we are here for you. Feel most welcome. Thank you.
Grace Agola, the CEC of Trade, Siaya County, of course, are just breaking it down for us in terms of what they have prepared for the investors, both local and international, the incentives. Of course, the startup fund that she says is specifically structured towards encouraging youth to be part and parcel of the SMEs and, of course, agriculture, but more importantly, calling on each and every person out there to come and invest in Siaya, because she says Siaya is a place to invest. Just to remind you that indeed they have prepared a war chest of about 250 billion shillings in terms of investment that they're saying come and tap into this vast potential. My name is Achola Simon. Of course, I take it back to Broadcasting House. Vivian Degwa, take it away.
There we have it. Thank you so very much, Wacholo, for that conversation that you were just from having. That was him together with the CECM Trade Siaya County, Madam Agola, and they have just talked about, you know, she has gotten to let us know just how prepared Siaya County is to host this conference that is starting off today. There's something that she's mentioned. She was talking about some of the things that Siaya are proud of, you know, some of the things that she feels we should know about Siaya, and she's talked about the cotton production in Siaya County. She's also mentioned things to do with agriculture, and of course the one that we all know about, and that is the fish from Siaya. That is the fishing that happens there, the fish farming in Siaya. And I would just want to engage my colleagues on this, specifically Victor. I don't know if this is your home county, and would you say that Siaya has the best fish in the country? Ama sisi watu wa coast, we take that crown.
Well, my county is Homa Bay County.
Okay.
But fish from Lake Victoria, we all know is a freshwater lake. And of late, since the cleanup of the water hyacinth, the fish from that region has become sweeter. All right? And yes, the production of fish is something that is actually taking place in the larger the lake region, but the problem has been the storage facilities, the cold rooms. That is why you find that most of the fishermen tend to do subsistence kind of fishing. They fish right now. We have got cold trucks ferrying fish from the shores or from the fishermen all the way to City Market here. Have you ever known that? So the only thing that is happening now is for the county executives, that is Siaya, Homa Bay, and Migori counties, basically in Kisumu counties, the Luo region and the Lake region counties, to invest in the cold rooms that will actually have fish and all the seafood preserved, even for international market, because right now we have got Kisumu International Airport.
Yes.
So it will be easier to move from the lake to plate or from the lake to overseas.
All right.
Yeah.
Indeed, and this, such a conference places a county like Siaya on the map and also opens avenues for investors to see the possibilities and the opportunities that the county has, because this is the kind of maybe leadership that people need, one that creates opportunities, and reflects on the expectations of the people. Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, and this is where we put a close as Good Morning Kenya, the team. We say goodbye and we hand you over to the News Check team. Standing by is Ben Troy Njue.
You have my last quote. Mike, if you don't have wrinkles, then you have not laughed enough. Troy is just next to me.
That is a good
Troy, where's your hand? Just to show you that Troy is here. This is his hand.
We can't even see the hand.
He's here. He's becoming home shortly. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Students especially should take note. Universities are currently debating